Picture this. It's 2 a.m., a routine Windows update lands on front-end controllers, and suddenly half the tenant floors lose HVAC and card access gets flaky. Phones light up, the lobby gathers at the desk, and facilities scrambles for a rollback. 6 hours later, no one could say who had the authority to stop the rollout.
Welcome to Built, Wired, and Secured. I'm Alex Morgan, and today we're fixing how patch windows happen. Michael, James, glad you're here.
That scenario is exactly why I start with one question. What breaks if this goes down? Tenants feel this immediately. From an operational standpoint, a patch is a risk window. If ownership and pre-checks aren't clear, the patch becomes a gamble.
Right. Reliability starts with disciplined maintenance. Too many teams treat patches like chores for midnight, apply and hope. Preventive maintenance beats emergency repairs every time when the process is practical and repeatable.
Okay, before we get into the mechanics, here's what you'll take away. 3 immediate actions you can start this week to reduce outage risk during updates, plus a simple checklist and rollout pattern to pilot. Michael, give us a quick map. How is patching BAS and OT different from a normal IT endpoint update?
Think in layers. IT endpoints are often disposable and can tolerate reboots during business hours.
Right, so there's an operational tolerance difference.
Exactly. BAS and OT have persistent dependencies, HVAC schedules, access control ties, elevator logic that aren't tolerant of surprise reboots. Add vendor interfaces and proprietary firmware, and you have coordination problems. Some updates require staging, some need vendor presence, and maintenance windows often collide with tenant needs.
One-size-fits-all windows fail because devices have different risk profiles. Some controllers are safe after hours. Others belong on a staging rack or non-production floor first. Trust the process. Test where it matters most, not everywhere at once.
Got it. Why do teams keep deferring updates even when the security case is clear? Is it just fear, or are incentives misaligned?
It's both. Fear of downtime is real, but incentives matter more than people admit. Owners see immediate scheduling or overtime costs. Future risk from a vulnerability is abstract, so patches get pushed until they're urgent. Then the cost and tenant impact spike.
People also confuse perfect with practical. They chase exhaustive testing across every variant. Noble, but it never finishes. Better to scope small, validate the critical path, and widen testing as you go.
I'm not sure I buy that as a blanket rule. Insufficient testing can cause cascading failures. There are cases where not validating an integration point costs you hours.
Fair point. I'm not saying skip testing. I mean prioritize. Test the things that will actually break tenant operations first, then expand coverage. That gets you practical safety without paralysis.
Okay, let's get tactical. What does a lightweight change control flow look like that reduces the chance of a midnight scramble?
Start with 3 clear owners: the requester, IT or vendor, the operational owner, facilities/engineering, and an incident owner who can declare rollback. Require a short pre-checklist. List impacted systems, confirm backups or snapshots, schedule a short validation window, and confirm vendor support availability. If any item is missing, pause the rollout.
Good point. Keep validation to about 5 checks you can run in under 10 minutes. System heartbeat, a basic user workflow like card access, HVAC set point response, 1 representative telemetry read, and a sanity check of scheduled jobs. Pre-stage in a lab or on a non-critical controller, then roll in small batches. Fast feedback beats exhaustive waits.
Wait, can you give a practical rollback hierarchy? Full image restores are slow and scary.
Start with the smallest atomic revert. Restore a config file. Restart a single service, or reassign to a failover controller. Full image restores are your nuclear option. Critically, pre-validate the rollback on a test unit and keep the runbook short. Proven steps reduce decision time under pressure.
One useful trick. Keep a canary controller that mirrors production for a week after patching. If the canary stays clean, proceed. If anomalies appear, you already have logs and a rollback path. Early detection beats late reaction.
Let's talk communications. Who needs what notice so front desk teams don't wake the entire building for a 5-minute blip?
Tiered notifications work. A tenant-facing pre-window notice that says planned work may alter HVAC set points between X and Y, and an internal ops channel that includes rollback steps and contacts. Aim for 48-hour pre-notice for planned windows and a 2-hour operations alert for pilot rollouts. Add a do not escalate clause unless specific triggers occur so you avoid unnecessary awakenings.
Practice those messages in tabletop drills. Simulate a failed update and run the script. Who calls the vendor? Who executes rollback? Who updates tenants? The best day in operations is the one nobody notices. Drills make that happen.
Quick case examples. 1 success, 1 failure. Concise, anonymized. Michael?
Success. A campus staged firmware on a lab rack, ran a 10-minute validation script, patched 3 controllers as a pilot overnight, monitored a canary for 48 hours, then completed the weekend rollout. No tenant impact. The difference was pre-validation and an explicit rollback owner.
Failure. A building allowed a broad vendor push during a vague maintenance window. A thermostat service failed, HVAC defaulted to safe mode, and there was confusion over who could authorize rollback. Tenants called in hours later. Lesson: if you can't assign ownership and test rollback, don't proceed.
3 practical actions to start this week. 1. Document the 3-owner model Michael described. 2. Run a 1-controller pilot using James's 5-item validation checklist. 3. Create a tiered tenant notification template with explicit escalation triggers.
Download a starter communication checklist and a 1-page change control template at gdsttech.co/patch-windows to adapt for your site.
Remember to ask early, what breaks if this goes down? If you can't answer that clearly, pause the rollout.
And trust the process. Preventative maintenance, short tests, and practiced rollbacks turn scary patches into manageable steps. Reliability starts with disciplined maintenance.
That wraps up this episode of Built, Wired, and Secured. Today, we talked about coordinating BAS and OT updates so security and reliability both improve. Clear owners, short validation cycles, and pre-validated rollbacks. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us. Built to last. Wired with intention. Secured for the real world.